Hi guys, this is Super Comic Girl, and I'm back with another video. If you hear any kind of weird sound, that's my brother. He's ranting and raving about something. If you hear another type of noise that is not human speech, that would be the rain. It is raining again. It's been raining pretty much almost all day. I was lucky enough that when I got into work, it wasn't raining. But it started raining during the course of the day, and then it stopped raining, and I got a ride home from one of my managers, who I was very happy about that. She gave me a ride home. So, sorry about that. I'm drinking this, so that's definitely why I'm sounding like the way I am. So. This is the afternoon. I will be doing a couple more comic book reviews, and all that. So yeah. So I'm gonna sort of do a condensed version of this video on TikTok. But I will do the longer, like, I don't know, the longer video on this one. I don't even know how long the video is going to be and all that stuff. So, today's video, I am going to be talking about the difference between the DC Ultimate or Unlimited universe compared to the Marvel Unlimited. These are both digital comic book subscriptions. They both have their pros and their cons and all that. So, I had just left being a member of DC Infinite Comics because there were things about it that I did not like, and also I want to be very blunt about it. There are characters in the DC universe I just don't like. I don't want to read any of their comics. I have no desire to read any of their comics and all that. So anyways, another thing is, if I keep on doing that, you can blame the tea for it. Hopefully it's not something that I'm going to have to go to the hospital for, like I did last year. I'm not going to talk about that. That was a scary time. So, anyways, so I had been a member of DC Infinite for about a year. I always had trouble paying it because I absolutely refused to do the $99 a year, because first of all, I just did not. Sorry, God. I did not. I wasn't on it a lot. It was just one of those things I paid for, but I really didn't use. And I'm trying to be more conscious about my money and everything. And, yeah. So, they have different tiers. I believe it's like monthly, and then it's like bi-monthly, and then there's yearly, or might be monthly, bi-monthly, every 6 months, and then a year. I think I might have that right. It has been a hot minute since I've been on their website, so I don't really know. So please forgive me if I'm wrong on anything. I don't want to say something and then you go on the website and it's not there. All that stuff. So I don't believe in, like, misrepresenting a company's website when they don't have the stuff that I say. But they definitely have monthly and yearly. So DC Comics decided to sweeten the deal to try to get people to sign up for yearly by basically opening up the entirety of the DC collection. And this included that people would not have to wait a month for the new issue. As a week after it dropped in the comic book shops, it would be available on digital. This is only for the people that do the yearly. If you are a broke person who just does one has one subscription, and that's DC, you don't get that perk. So, and you also don't get access to, and this is from my own personal experience, you don't get access to the full DC collection. The way that you would yearly. So now if they have changed that, then ignore that bit. So why don't I have DC Infinite anymore? Well, point blank, I don't like a lot of the characters that DC brought out. Now, some of them, the DC Pride from last year introduced a character that I was really interested in seeing. She worked with Constantine, which is not good for your health. I really digged this character. There was a lot of Chinese elements into it, which was also interesting, and it kind of perked my ears. I was like, when this comic book comes out with this character, I'm going to buy the comic. I don't know how it ended, because I stopped going to the comic book shop. Not that the comic book wasn't good, I just stopped going to the comic book shop. If you guys know who I'm talking about, then at least you remember and I don't. It isn't that the character was a bad character, I just don't remember the character's name, or what the character did, or any of that type of stuff. I just know that the character worked with John Constantine. As I said, not good for your health. I also know the Batwoman went in the spirit realm. But anyways, so a lot of time, one of the biggest issues I have with DC, and this is a kind of a gripe I have with Marvel, but not to the extent with DC, is they always introduce characters that we forget about in a couple of issues. So like DC Pride, I don't even remember half of the characters that was in DC Pride. I actually have to go back and reread it to remember who they are, and that's not good. That is not good at all. And also something else is, DC is very infamous for this. They will introduce a character, and people will get real excited about the character, and then the character will vanish, and nobody knows what happened to that character. Which is another problem I have with DC. So, DC Infinite, I was doing it with monthly because it was more affordable that way, and I did not get any of the perks that came with subscription. You just paid a bill to be able to access, and also the thing about it was that unless you knew the name of the character, you could not find the comics. Which pretty much shows that the characters were not really that memorable if you can't remember them, except for the core ones like Wonder Woman and Batman and the Flash and all that. Now, so I decided to stop paying it, and every time they sent me an email saying you needed to update your information, I would delete it. I would be like, no, I'm not updating my information. I don't like your website. I don't like your service. I'm not giving you any more of my money. And after like 8 or 9 tries to get money out of me, they finally said, bye. And I said, and then they sent me an email a couple of days after it saying, hey, why wait? And I deleted it. Thank you very much. I have no desire to become a member of DC Infinite. So, about a year or so ago, a guy was doing a video, and he introduced me to Marvel Unlimited through this video. And I love Spider-Man. Even though I'm not exactly a fan of what they're doing to Spider-Man, I still love Spider-Man. My father, as I mentioned in one of the videos, my father was a huge fan of Spider-Man. He had the first appearance of Spider-Man, and my grandmother sold that damn comic, and I was pissed because this was supposed to be part of my father's estate. And I actually had to wait for my grandmother to die in order to get, well, I really didn't get the estate. I thought that the comic books would be there, but apparently she had sold them a long time ago. But he was a big fan of Spider-Man. Every time Spider-Man would come out, he would always buy an issue. And so, what I am going to actually do is start reading the old-time Spider-Man to kind of understand, more about why my father was a fan of Spider-Man. Though we all know why. Spider-Man is this great character. He's very complex. And that's how Stan Lee drew him, or Stan Lee created him. He created him to be a very complex character. So, so I signed up the 29th of last month. I signed up for Marvel Unlimited, and I don't have to try to remember the names of these superheroes because they're my favorites. I'm not really a fan of Thor, but I will check his comic books out. Like Green Goblin and Spider-Man and Spider-Woman and Spider-Girl and Doctor Strange and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. And all these, like Blade, and all these different characters, I absolutely love them. They're very complex. They're very, there's a lot of thought that goes into them. Moon Knight is my favorite because he's probably the most complex of all characters. In fact, when I put my, the app on the phone, one of the characters I could choose from was Moon Knight, and that's who I chose. I absolutely love Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight is a great character. He's so complex and so rich of a character. And this is my issue with DC. DC has these very simplistic characters that, yes, they have gone through shit that I would not wish on anyone, but their origins are very simplistic. You look at Spider-Man. It took the death of his Uncle Ben for him to understand anything. And it just added complexity to his character as a whole. Now, am I going to say the Marvel movies are the greatest in the world? I'm not. But if you want a little escapism, then yeah, go ahead and do that. So I have been a couple days into the DC Unlimited, and I am going to say I am totally sold on this app. I really love it. It's much easier to navigate than the DC Infinite. And it just feels like that's more user friendly than the DC Infinite. DC Infinite was so clanky and so difficult to navigate on the computer. You can look at each single part of a cell and read it and all that. I absolutely love this service, and this is something I said, okay, I didn't even give it 3 days before I said, okay, I'm going to pay the money on the 6th to keep this service, because I really want to continue to have it. And I just feel like that as somebody who is more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan, that sees myself paying for this for many years, it's going to be a great thing. And another thing is, even if I cannot read, so as I mentioned to you in the DC Infinite, if you pay the $99, don't know why, But the $99, you only have to wait 1 week after the comic book comes out to be able to read it. And that's great if you don't have a comic book shop and you are a big fan of DC and you spend more money on DC Comics than Marvel, then yes, definitely go for it. I am not going to sit here and say don't go for it. If you are a hardcore DC fan and you're willing to spend the $99 to have literally the entire DC collection at your fingertips, and you only have to wait 1 week for the new DC comic to come out, then go ahead and do it. But because I'm more of a fan of Marvel than DC, then yes, it's great that DC is offering a digital copy of the comics a week after it's come out. But it's, for me, I like the complexity of Marvel characters. I like what motivates them as a character to do what they do. And even the villains, definitely even the villains. So in the Marvel one, you still have to wait 3 months after the comic book has been released in stores for you to be able to read it as a digital copy. However, I can easily say, okay, okay, I have to wait 3 months for it, but I can just go ahead and buy the edition on Kindle, and I won't have to wait 3 months. So that's basically like, my way of like, I'm not upset with you guys because I gotta wait 3 months for this. I just prefer to get it on Kindle and all that. But if I want to read Iron Man from like the 1970s or the 1960s, I can read Iron Man from that time period. I don't have to go to the comic book shop and look for these comics and hope to pray they've got them, and then pay $800-900 for a single issue. On the app, I pay nothing because I already pay $99 for an entire year of this service. And with the fact is that I could easily spend up to $300 in one day at a comic book shop. That's a steal. It is. So I really am being very like, am I using this app all the time? Am I using this service all the time? Well, for Marvel Comics, the answer is yes, because I am still going through the Gang War event and all that stuff. So if you guys want to know my own personal opinion about DC Infinite compared to Marvel Unlimited, I will say, because I'm more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan, I'm willing to spend the $99 for the entire history of Marvel at my fingertips that I can read. I can read on the bus, or I can read on my break, and just immerse myself into this world of superheroes that are very complex and very motivated by what they believe is the right thing to do. So that's my video for today. I will be getting back to my comics. I will be reading my DC books, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to leave them out just because I'm doing Marvel now. Because I do want to read on the Marvel, I want to read on the DC comics. I do want to finish the Dawn of DC event. I started it. I really do want to finish reading it. So yeah. So I will see you guys around.